Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I believe that we're feeding out to the folks out there. You guys should be seeing us. Um, we're feeding out here live on Utreon. So let us know. I'm going to look at the chat and see if I can get any acknowledgement that we are going in. My apologies. What's happening is our usual call-in system that we have here for these guys to call in is not working for some reason. So everyone's switched over to Skype. So we're still. I think we have one more person that we're trying to get in here. So if anyone could see me, hear me out there, let me know in the chat. And once I see that, then I'll just get everything going. I see Edward Brower's out there. I don't know whether or not anyone. There you go. 42 Chilled said he could see us. Okay, good. That's good enough for me. I'm gonna. All right, everyone, stay right there. There's a couple things I have to do because there's some other stuff that I'm also trying here. So I'm gonna start with doing the open. Let me kick in the open. Everyone, just stay right there. As I usually do, I like to remind everyone out there to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. That's a good way to keep up with us, for us to keep up with you guys. Look around the site as well. We have lots of links, even things that we're talking about tonight. You guys are going to find up there on the site. So let's start by reminding everyone of that, of course. And then let's see now. I will go to the open. Let's do that.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation, Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
So let's kick it in here, and I'm gonna throw some of these guys up on the screen. Be able to throw everyone here on the screen that we have going right now. All right, so there's a couple of different things that we're trying here tonight. There's actually a countdown, if everyone could see that. So that countdown is going to lead us into segments. I've broken the show up into 6 20-minute segments, so that's just a countdown there. It should be automatic. We'll see how it runs. Let me know if there's any issues with that. I believe that you guys will be seeing that coming out here. And then every time that changes, it's actually the little banner that's in the bottom should change. So hopefully we'll recognize it. Okay, so welcome to the show here. This is the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. This is episode 846. The title is Right to Bear Insurance. And our guests are Frank Cannon, and we're going to have Perry Orth coming in from Right to Bear Insurance, as well as we have my friend Josiah of Palmetto State Armory, as you can see from this big banner behind there. And Josiah is here. I think Josiah is going to be here for part of the time. We're going to go the full 2 hours here, but Josiah is here to make intros. Josiah, how's it going, man?
Good. How you doing, Hank?
Good, good. I like you got this big massive banner here. So what can you what can you tell us about Right to Bear and how it came about, and then from there, if you can introduce Frank.
Sure, absolutely. So, Right to Bear is it's a sister company of Palmetto State Armory. It's and Frank and Perry can speak a little bit more to how it came about. But it's a in my brother's avenue of wanting to um, wanting to not have the cancel culture, as far as, we mentioned stuff about the bank, about insurance and whatnot, not have them say, hey, because you like firearms or you like XYZ, have them cancel you off. We want to be able to offer through insurance products,
Mm-hmm.
uh, firearm loving people to be able to have an insurance product by firearm loving people as well. And that's where the insurance idea came from. And we're starting off with Conceal Weapon Insurance. And this is Frank.
Mm-hmm.
He and Perry, who's going to be coming on a little bit, they're running Right to Bear. And Frank can speak a little bit more as to exactly how it came about and how he and Perry got involved with my brother Jamin, who's the owner of PSA slash JJ, not slash, but JJ Capital that owns both of us.
Okay, and then basically, Frank. So, like, I think a lot of people in the firearms industry have been saying that we should have our own kind of ecosystem where we're doing business with each other in lots of different facets of our lives, right? We don't just buy guns and stuff like that, but there are people out there, as Josiah mentioned, that are canceling us. So, with that being said, Frank, welcome to the show. I don't
Hey,
know if you,
thank you.
yeah, I'll let you take it from where Josiah left off.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, friend. We're slowly becoming big fans of Hank Strange, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, really grateful. Josiah has introduced us to the world of Hank Strange, and
Uh-oh.
and we are grateful, friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Let
you
me
for
tell you,
being here. I appreciate it.
yeah. So, Hank, I'm a 32-year veteran in the insurance business, and that means I'm still learning something new every day about this this wild ride.
Mm-hmm.
But Perry Orth, my dear friend, I hired him about 4 years ago, and we were working for a large brokerage firm. And we, back in February of this year, walked in to visit with the leadership team at Palmetto State Armory to discuss some liability needs. And I just point blank asked them one day, I said, "Hey, guys, why are you not in the insurance business? Why are you not selling your own insurance packages?"
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, was birthed our first product, our first vision called Right to Bear. And I want to spell it out to you in Jamin's vision of Right to Bear. Right to Bear is the only American insurance provider dedicated to the preservation of individual liberty for all freedom loving people in the United States who desire to defend their families with the legal protection necessary in an era of elites trying to control our lives. So, life of Right to Bear was birthed, and it is what we believe the best value in self-defense liability insurance.
Okay, all right, very good. By the way, we've got, I'm totally paying attention to you. I think we've got Perry uh, dialing in here, getting set up right now. I cannot see his camera. Perry, are you there? I think I can hear
Yeah,
him.
can you guys hear me?
Yep, we could
Yep.
definitely hear you. I think you got to turn your camera on once you get a chance.
All right.
And then
So it is,
we'll add you into this.
yeah, absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
putting on his makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
it's not.
So while you're doing that, Josiah, did you want to add anything to what Perry's saying? And for everyone out there, we'll be able to take all the questions and stuff like that you guys have about this. We'll get into all the details here once we get everything going. I was really just trying to get the show on the road for everyone who was hanging out there waiting, getting antsy. So
Yeah,
Josiah.
and
Mm-hmm.
one this is and my brother's vision. A lot of people have asked questions about, hey, we've mentioned about ammunition manufacturing, about having a in the future having a bank and a lot of things like that. We'll be having future um, uh, those things are coming in the future. We'll be having different podcasts on those, but the Right to Bear, the insurance products, those are going to be like kind of the first in the my brother. He thinks very big picture. He's like way up in the clouds,
Mm-hmm.
not in a bad sense in the clouds, but looking down. And this is our first foray into,
Mm-hmm.
really outside of the traditional firearms business
Mm-hmm.
and that JJ Capital brands of. But we'll be able to talk more in the future podcasts about the ammunition, the coming ammunition, the coming bank, and the coming Bravox, which he's mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
But so we'll be talking about that in the future.
Yeah, and I think for anyone out there who wants to find out about this, what's the website to go to? Actually, let's see if I could throw it up here on the. I'll try to get the website up on the screen as well. I believe it's protectwithbear.com, right?
That's right.
Okay. So there you go. So if you guys want to look into this, it's protectwithbear.com. That's the website you need to get to. I'm trying to see if I could, let me see if I could share this here. I don't know if this is going to work, so bear with me. Boom! There we go. Look at it. Check it out. It's a brand new, sexy website.
Bear with me, no pun intended.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a lot of those. So it's BEAR.
Yes.
Right to Bear Insurance is the name of it, and it's protectwithbear.com for anyone who's interested. And it looks like right now you guys have a special holiday offer. What does it say? Receive a limited edition AR-15 lower with any new silver, gold, or platinum policy, or $40 off at Palmetto State Armory, which is very cool. So this is going to be kind of like a collectible, because the lower, for everyone who's listening to us on audio later, the lower has what I would describe as a shield and then a bear in there.
Yeah.
So,
and what are the safety selectors, Hank? I'm not looking at it on my screen.
I think it says hibernate. I guess it's safe, protect, and roar. So if you're able to, if you're able to go full auto,
that's cool.
Yeah, if you're able to go full auto, that's what you'll be doing. Yeah. So that's very cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying it's free lower, or if you live in a state, unfortunately, where we can't ship a strip lower, then we would send you a $40 gift card. So that's why the $40 is there.
Okay. All right. I see. Let me see if I can actually. I'm trying to figure out now, how do I take this? How do I go back to what we were doing here?
Can you guys see me now? I should be good to go.
Yeah. We could see you here. I'm just trying to figure out with this new stuff that I'm
All
doing.
I see is a picture of an underrated quarterback or overrated.
I'm trying to. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so let's see if we can add. We should be able to add Perry right now, and boom.
Yeah, we see.
There he goes.
We see Perry.
There's so many things happening here at the same time, but that's why. Okay, so now we've got the whole team.
Right.
We got everyone is on screen right now. Perry, welcome. We'll give you a chance here. We're still in the welcome section. If you're looking at the bottom on the left-hand side where there's a timer going down, it says welcome. That's what we usually talk about in this segment. I'm trying to break the show up into segments so I could be quote unquote organized. So tell us about yourself, Perry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. So, geez, where do I even start? So, yeah, I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, in a family full of athletes. My dad played football in college. I played football in college. Brother played baseball. Younger brother played football. So we've been in athletics our entire life, basically our entire lives. And then Frank hired me after college and got into the insurance business. And man, one day we were going through one of PSA's insurance policies, and Frank brought up this crazy idea about having them do their own insurance. And next thing you know, we were meeting with Jamin and the leadership team at PSA, and fast forward, and that's how we got here. Never thought in a million years I'd be selling insurance. And then they always tell you in the insurance business that you got to find your niche. And for a while I was being trained on working on car dealerships, which was a specialty of Frank's. And now we're selling gun insurance. So it's kind of crazy how things have evolved. It's been really, really cool. And then there's so many different angles where Right to Bear and the products of Moultrie Insurance can take us. But it's been really cool to learn a different side of the business. It's been really cool to learn about how PSA came about and the success of what they do, and how welcoming everybody has been for us joining their team. For Frank and I, we're coming in as two folks trying to make a name for ourselves, and just based off what we're doing. In a way, it may have caused some extra work on folks like Josiah that wasn't in their typical work day, but they've been so gracious, and it speaks to the culture at PSA. And man, I can tell you right now, Frank and I are beyond fired up to be a part of that team.
All right, awesome. So what is, I don't know if there's like frequently asked questions you guys are getting about this. How long has Right to Bear even been in effect that people could get policies?
Go ahead, Frank.
So actually, Right to Bear just rolled out 3 weeks ago, Hank, and we were anticipating that rollout for quite some time. We had some IT hiccups, like a lot of startups, but we finally got that rolling. And thanks to Josiah, we're now kind of getting our affiliate network scheduled and getting the Hank Strangers of the world involved with Right to Bear. But we're 3 weeks in, and we're really doing well. Hey, Hank, I want to circle back for a second, if I
Mm-hmm.
can, and just brag on
Sure.
Perry for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Florida boy, you know who Steve Spurrier is, and Steve Spurrier really sort of took Perry under his wing, and Perry was a walk-on quarterback that was bagging groceries in Columbia, South Carolina at a Publix grocery store. And the next thing you know, he's the only walk-on quarterback to start and win football games for Steve Spurrier. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, I don't know a lot about sports.
Oh,
So I'll just let you know that up front. Anyone who listens or watches the podcast knows that I don't know. I have heard that name. Was he at that time? What was he? What team was this? What team are we talking about here?
the South Carolina Gamecocks, but
Oh,
Spurrier
okay.
won the Heisman. Spurrier
Mhm.
won the Heisman at the University of Florida. He's now a coach emeritus at Florida.
Yeah,
On,
that's
in the
that's where I've heard that from, because obviously
yeah,
we're
and
we're just outside of Gainesville, so I don't know.
yeah,
Is that the current coach of UF
no,
right now? No, it's not.
no,
Lola is shaking her head at me. Sorry.
yeah, but
I know. I'm gonna.
Spurrier's a legend. Spurrier's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. And when I knew you were from just outside of Gainesville, I
Right.
thought that was a cool connection.
No, Lola is a Gator. My son's a
Yeah.
Gator. One of them goes to FSU right now. But so I don't know if he's a Gator or not at this moment. But yeah, I'm terrible about sports, but I have heard of Steve Spurrier. So you're a football player.
Yeah, so played
Mhm.
quarterback, and that was all we did our whole life. And that's how it's kind of funny how I fell into the insurance business. Was that there was I had no idea what I wanted to do when I got done, and fortunately in Columbia, in South Carolina, there's only two major teams. There's no professional teams here, and it's either South Carolina or Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And being a quarterback here, was able to develop some relationships and get to know some folks while I was playing, and it just kind of made sense for me to move back to Columbia and start a career there. And obviously with PSA being located right in the heart of the state, that's kind of how, through a mutual friend, was able to get connected with our friends there, who actually still to this day is the general counsel at Palmetto State Armory, was my connection and Frank's connection over there. And when we, brought this Right to Bear idea at the time, we didn't know what it was when we first brought it to him. But now, after months of education and learning, I really feel that both Frank and I are experts, we'll call it, in this industry. We've been living it every single day and night. It feels like for the last almost year. Just kind of rolling in this idea of, how do we bring added value to the already extreme value that Palmetto State Armory brings to the responsible gun owners of America. It's pretty remarkable. So we're excited. And Hank, again, if I didn't already say this, we are beyond grateful to be on your show. It means a lot. And I apologize for the IT issues.
Oh no, that's not you guys at all. I mean, that's from on our end, or the software that I'm using. Something happened with it. So there's like a software that I use here. It's called Ecamm, and there's a specific server that you could go through, so we could send folks a link and they could just click through. And that wasn't working, so we went back to Skype. We had Skype for a long time when I started this podcast. And there were a whole bunch of different problems with that, and everyone complained about it. So we switched over to that new system, which up until now works pretty good. But this is just life, right? Things don't go perfectly in life, and when it comes to the subject of insurance, this is why insurance, I think, is really important. If you have a car, you have car insurance, which Lola and I, we have insurance for our cars. And, if you have a family, especially when you get married and you start having kids, you should have life insurance. We've got that kind of stuff as well. We've had that for a while. And then in our world, for folks who, for gun guys, people who believe in the Second Amendment, are out there defending themselves, carrying every day, there's things that could go wrong. When you wind up defending yourself, a lot of stuff's going to happen. A lot of stuff's going to come at you, and you want to have insurance for that. There's been other companies around for a while. I don't, I'm not trying to make you guys talk about the competition or anything like that, but how are you guys looking at this? What's, how are you setting yourself up versus the companies that are out there, right? There's U.S. Law
Yeah.
Shield, USCCA, for example. How do you guys stack up versus those guys, and how have you all thought about it?
Yeah, Frank, I'm going to go ahead and start if you don't mind, and then I'll kick it over to you. First off, our message from the get-go is we have enormous respect for those folks in that in our industry. We're thankful that they have offered this product long before we have been so educated on it. USCCA, they do a fantastic job. They're everywhere. Months ago, we clicked on their Facebook page just to learn more about them and their website. And now every day we're getting numerous ads about them and all the fancy bells and whistles that they offer and all the training and education to help continuing to show, improve that, gun owners are responsible and we want to be prepared in the event of an incident that comes up. Same thing with Law Shield. But at the same time, we brag on our policy and we brag on our program. We stand by that. We believe we are the best value program in the business. And we can give you a handful of reasons why. And Frank, if I miss any, go ahead and scoop. Number one, we're a true insurance policy.
Okay.
Us insurance nerds, what we like is we like the term indemnity. Indemnity may not mean everything to anybody on this podcast, but what that means, it means to make somebody whole after an incident. So what that means, if you're in a self-defense incident, you're either getting arrested or you're getting sued by somebody, right? Whether it's the family of the whatever of the kind of the initiator or whatever the case might be. And so our policy is going to cover both civil and criminal defense. We also cover civil damages if heaven forbid we're on the wrong side of a civil suit. Our policy includes multi-state coverage. It includes psychological support, expert witness. We have additional endorsement coverages like coverage for your spouse, accidental discharge, compensation while one would be in court. We're backed by an A-rated insurance carrier that is used to being in this space. They just hadn't found a partner like Moultrie and Palmetto State Armory to promote this type of product and prime insurance out of Utah. And, most importantly, we give our insureds the choice of an attorney. We don't ever want to pigeonhole somebody into saying, you have to use our network or else there's no coverage. That's not what we want to do. We want to give you, the insured, the opportunity to choose who they want, because Frank and I don't know the best attorney, the example we've been given in Gurdon, Arkansas. That's just the truth. We don't even know who the best attorney in Arkansas is. We might know in Columbia, but we don't want to say, oh, well, we just chose some young buck fresh out of law school that's that's not, charging as much. So we're going to utilize his services because it's less expense on us. We don't want to do that. We want to give you, the insured, the best opportunity to fight in your case, which is going to happen in an incident.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. I don't know if Frank wanted to add anything to that. If you guys notice, everything changed. There's a different thing down there. Normally here we would talk about news, the way I'm setting it up, but we'll just keep going in this direction. So if Josiah has anything, it doesn't have anything to add, or Frank, you guys don't have anything to add, or no?
Yeah, I would just like to piggyback on what Perry said. Perry did a fantastic job of laying this out. I will tell you, just to stress what Perry just said about the ability to choose your own attorney. Hank, I can't tell you how big that is. I just want to use an example. There are prominent attorneys all over the country, but if you get backed into a corner, like a Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, and you chose to defend yourself, you don't want $150 an hour law student fresh out of law school that's defending you. You want to be able to pick the Johnny Cochrans of the world, the very best.
Right.
And our policy allows you to do that. I'd like to add one more thing, Hank. We chose Prime Insurance out of Utah for a huge reason. Perry said they play in this space. Not only do they play in this space, but they have become the go-to source in this space, ensuring manufacturers of guns, ensuring retail opportunities around the country. But if you follow their network and their president, Rick Lindsay, who's just an incredibly successful visionary, Rick is one of those bulldogs that will not cave to the left in the woke societies of the world. Rick is a fighter, and he's going to take our policyholders in time of need. He's going to have his team hold their hand, and he's going to be there for them when they need him the most. And you want a fighter in your corner in a situation where you've been backed up, and not just some, again, small town lawyer that's never been in that space before. So
yeah,
Rick
or I mean someone who's fighting for you. I think that was the issue for all of us who are looking at the whole thing that happened with Rittenhouse. Like his initial lawyer, I didn't know that guy was fighting for him. I think he could have gotten him out of jail a lot faster and didn't do it. That's my understanding of that situation.
Well, you're exactly right, Hank. And here's the deal. When you know you've got a good case, you're going to fight. And that's what Kyle's final attorneys did, and they won. But let me tell you, a small-time lawyer would have tried to offer up some kind of settlement and had Hank agree. They'd have had Kyle really try to agree to some lesser charge. But the truth is, they knew they were too good. When you're right, and you fight. And that's kind of Rick Lindsay's philosophy at Prime. When you're right, you fight. And the truth is, he's a fighter, and that's why we've partnered with him. Our great leader at Palmetto State Armory, Josiah's brother Jamin, is a fighter too, and he and Rick have established a great relationship. And it's one of those things where this is a partnership between Moultrie Insurance, Right to Bear, Prime, and our partner customers, and we're going to hold their hand and take care of them.
Okay, yeah, and so for the folks in the chat, if you guys have questions, ask it here. Lola's checking on the chat. She'll let me know if I'm missing a question from someone. Here's something I would like to know. So, does your coverage, let's say you get into something, does the amount of money you guys are going to spend, is that based on what plan you're in? Because I see there's like tiers. Let me see, I'm trying to look at, I think it starts with bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So like 4 tiers in there, right? So, so someone signs up right now. Is that all in what's there? Let me see if I could actually pull this up and share this on the screen, what I'm looking at, so people can see. There you go. So on the side there, I'm pulling it up. So the bronze, I think, says civil criminal defense liability coverage up to $50,000, and then silver goes up to $500. Gold looks like $1 million, and platinum is $2 million. And that might sound like a lot of money to people, but this stuff could get expensive. I don't know if we have an estimate on what Carl Rittenhouse. Do you know, Josiah? Does anyone have any idea?
I don't.
No, I don't know, but I can tell you that it was upwards of 6 towards 7 figures. I can assure you that.
Yeah. I think there was. I believe that there was about $2 million raised for him. But I'll let the folks who are following carefully. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I do want to mention when you're speaking about that, so a couple of the competitors in this space, they like to promote unlimited amounts of coverage. Well, anytime you see free and unlimited, warning signs should be popping all over the place, because when it comes to unlimited, they're paying for, they're offering legal fees only. Now, the unfortunate reality is that when you start creeping up to that type of legal bills, like the Rittenhouse, the millions of dollars, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall based off of the case that's coming, We unfortunately have read stories where different cases have been dropped, and
Mm-hmm.
because of our relationship with our carrier partner, and the fact that we are offering a true insurance product,
Mm-hmm.
um, we really do and stand by the coverages that we're offering. And the other important note that I want to make, when you see the term unlimited, they're really only referring to, again, legal fees, not awards that would be paid out if, heaven forbid, you shot somebody in the arm in defense, and somehow, some way it's spun where you're having to pay
To pay
for
some
the medical.
damages or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our
Okay.
policy is going to cover up to the limit that you've selected. We're true insurance to indemnify, to make whole the insured, and our policy holders, versus, we'll cover the legal fees, but if something happens, you're on your own. And guys, we all know that damages are way, way more expensive than legal fees only, and that's
Yeah.
just a fact.
Yeah, there could be, if something happens outside well, anywhere, right? Things are going to happen someplace in the world. There's rounds that could go into things that, let's say, aren't people, but you still damage something. So I know there are questions coming in. I'm gonna get to those, but what you're saying brings up something I've seen in some of these types of coverage that if you settle, no, what is the thing, if you I know I've seen stuff like, if you settle, that there's coverage that won't cover you if you settle, like you have to fight this thing all the way through, or do whatever it is they're suggesting. So just to clarify what I'm saying, let's say someone gets into a situation, there's some charges or something like that where the prosecutors in that state say, okay, we're gonna just charge you with a misdemeanor, and you decide to do that, you actually, the company that's covering you doesn't pay for your legal fees at all because you settled. So do you guys, do you see what I'm talking about here? Do you um is that something that you could clarify?
Hank, there is some language out there that basically states that if you agree to a charge, period, then they're going to drop you immediately and refuse to defend you from that stage on, and they're going to refuse any further fees, and they serve the right to backdate and charge you the back fees for any criminal charges.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to be very, very careful to read the fine language. In our policy at Right to Bear, goes back to us again, allowing you to hire your own attorney. And Perry said that word indemnification, but we're going to cover you, and we're going to make sure that you're protected both civilly and criminally for the full limit of the policy. So if you buy the $2 million policy, you're going to have $2 million of the best insurance protection you can buy in the self-defense space.
Okay. All right. And there's no such thing as that, like if you wind up settling or something like that, that now you're responsible for that.
No, but I will tell you that again, Perry said this eloquently. We admire our competitors.
Mm-hmm.
We admire the space they've played and the role they've played in founding these policies. But there is very clear language in the competition's policy that they have the right to stop defending at any time, and especially if you decide that their lawyers aren't doing a good job and you want to go outside their network and leave their space. In other words, if they assigned you a law student fresh out of law school, and they're going to and they've got a rate of $125 an hour for him, and you decide not to use him, they can drop you right then.
Okay.
We're just not going to play that game. We're going to have you back. We're going to cover you if you go and hire Johnny Cochran.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead.
Think there's
Go ahead,
one
Josiah.
thing for me there's one thing for me, and I'm gonna have to take off in just a minute. And I'll leave with one thing. This is what really sold it to me as this was being talked about behind the scenes. There's a lot of there's not a ton of firearm insurance companies out there, but there's a good 5, 6, 7. And the thing that got me is I was kind of skeptical at first, and I was like, but once it was explained to me that criminally, like our coverage covered the $2 million policy, that covers you criminally there's another. I'm not going to name the names, but there's one that'll. They say they cover you criminally for. It appears as if it's criminal if you're 2 million, but it's only actually for $150,000.
Hmm.
Ours is criminally. We're going to cover you up to $2 million. Not ours. Right to bear is, and that's really what sold me was the best plan at. I think is the number one firearm company right now. Criminally, they're only going to cover you for 150. We're going to cover you for 2 million, and I think that's what sold me on it.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is an important. Look, a lot of us, me included, don't read all the the little tiny, the fine writing or whatever it is, that's in there. So these are the kind of things that we think about when this stuff happens. It sounds to me like if you've got a $2 million policy, something goes down, this will cover you up until that 2 million. If you have a lawyer and you want to go to another lawyer, you can, they don't, someone doesn't step in and go, hey, you can't actually switch lawyers or anything like that. That kind of stuff I think is important, as Josiah is saying. Josiah, I know you were just coming in here. I'll let you go. We've got a bunch of questions for these guys, so we'll start getting to that here.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josiah.
Yes. Don't worry, you guys are in good hands with me. I'm not going to be too. I don't bite too much. So let's see here. All right. So I'll just put the three of us here while Josiah is signing out. All right. So there are some questions that are coming in here. I'm gonna go to the first one that I see. Brian Quick says, "Do they pay up front for legal fees, or on the back end?"
Frank, you want that?
Yeah, we pay them as they're endured. So again, the minute we receive a bill, we pay for it.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Let's see.
That's part of the indemnification process.
And then Hank, I'm going to elaborate on that as well.
Okay.
So our insurance company will work directly with the insured's attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So the insured, as they're being taken care of legally by their attorneys, the insurance company's paying the attorney. So it's almost, in a way, the insured's out of the picture, that we're just going to handle it. And there is no did you send our check? It's going to be between the attorneys and the insurance company. That's, again, another huge point of a true insurance policy. It's like with you get in an accident, right? Your insurance company is working directly with you, right?
Right. They should be.
When you have
should be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have an attorney representing you, they're going to work directly with your attorney, right? It's not going to be hey, my attorney billed me $4,000 for the week of work and investigation and all of this other stuff, and now I got to call Right to Bear to see if they can send me this. It's none of that. It's straight between the insurance company and the attorney.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And Hank, I want to add to that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
By us allowing our clients to utilize their own legal team, look at the Kyle Rittenhouse case for a moment. The lawyer that was involved with Kyle in the second phase, which helped him win, decided to hire an elite legal team. And I just looked up the numbers. The legal costs for the Kyle Rittenhouse case was just under $2 million. So he hired the best team of surrounding partners to do everything from the research and investigative work that he could. Our policy is going to do the same thing and allow you to do the same thing. Some of our competitors are not.
Okay. Let's see. So that, let me see here. There was another question. K&M Arms says, product liability insurance for small manufacturers, will or are you offering that?
Great question. And thank you so much, my friend, for asking that wonderful question. So part of our leadership, Jamin McCallum, owner of Palmetto State Armory's vision is that our group, Moultrie Insurance's first brand was Right to Bear, which was self-defense liability. Our second brand is going to be a commercial package policy for retailers and manufacturers. We expect to have that product out sometime in late first quarter of 2022, and we'd be honored to just have the opportunity to earn your trust.
Okay, that's good to know. Um, especially for the smaller guys like K&M Arms and other folks out there, this is this is one of the things that you have to deal with. So did you guys? I'm sorry. Did you have something there, Perry?
Yeah, no,
Mm.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was actually clearing my throat and actually did want to add.
Okay.
Um, I've been in insurance for 5 years now, and I didn't realize how politically charged the insurance market is until we started working on Palmetto State Armory's own insurance. And golly, felt like Frank, countless hours of review between us two, just grueling and rolling through carriers of people not wanting to insure gun dealers and manufacturers because they were a moral hazard when you've got outstanding loss history with zero claims paid out through the course of 5 years and extremely high premiums and companies literally making hand over fist on these
Mm-hmm.
gun dealers or manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
That the people that are really going to suffer are the small players, the smaller gun dealers and the smaller gun manufacturers. And the options for insurance choices for those individuals and those companies are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're beyond excited. I know I keep using that word, but we're so excited to roll this out to be able to help individuals like that, because we will be the go-to source for gun dealer and gun manufacturer insurance in the United States. And that's just the way it's going to be. And we're excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just weird to the whole idea of the level of like professionals that you're talking about in the firearms industry. Licenses that folks have to go through, the kind of responsibility, etc., that people have, and then it's like, yeah, but we don't trust you. An example of that is we're doing this live on Utreon instead of doing it on YouTube because YouTube won't even let me like touch a firearm while I'm live. you know and like, so for example,
Yeah.
I'm an FFL. I have all kinds of things of different qualifications, I guess, if you could say that, and I've been doing this for 9 years, but I can't do this on YouTube because they're somehow worried about bad guys. So after having all these things, just being an FFL and all the stuff you have to go through for that, then a company says, "Oh yeah, we're worried about you, so you can't do this because you're a gun person." And we're talking about something that's protected by the Constitution. So I think the same thing goes for the manufacturers out there as well. And it's just, man, it's a weird world that we're living in, where the people who are actually professional, responsible, have licenses, work really hard. Those are the people that can't get coverage.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Hank,
Hank,
just go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
Hank, I was going to tell you, man, we're so grateful again for just everyone who's out there listening and taking part in this wonderful event. We are going to be at our first ever SHOT Show, and man, Perry and I are really excited to be able to go out and shake hands and put faces with names, and to really build some relationships. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, if there's anything I've learned in my 32 years in this space, is people don't really need you in our business until you have a claim, and then you better step up and hold their hand, and you better be at their doorstep getting it done when they need you most.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where Perry and I stand. We want to be there for you, and so we look forward to shaking hands and having the opportunity to get to know everybody out there. And I hope you'll stop by the Palmetto State Armory booth at SHOT Show. We're going to have our own little corner, right to bear, and we look forward to it. We look forward to sharing with you.
Absolutely. So everyone who's going to be at SHOT Show, that's an open invitation. I believe that PSA, Palmetto State Armory, is coming up out of the basement. So at SHOT Show in Las Vegas, that's the ground floor.
Yeah,
They call it the
yeah.
basement. But and I know that Josiah left already, but I believe they're coming. They've got like a prime spot
Oh,
at SHOT
it's
Show next
prime,
year.
and we're
Yeah,
excited. Yeah.
yeah. K&M Arms says I only have one option for liability insurance, and it sucks. Yeah, you know.
Hey, we're excited. Hank, I want to tell you something
Hmm.
else, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We are currently in this early stages of developing a gun physical damage endorsement for our self-defense liability. Man, we couldn't be more excited. You know, the average homeowner's policy, Hank, and you probably in your previous podcast
Hmm.
maybe discussed this, but the
Hmm.
average homeowner's policy in America only covers $1,500 for guns.
Hmm.
Anything over $1,500, you've got to add what's called an inland marine endorsement or extension of coverage for your gun collection. Now, I'm an average hunter. I love the outdoors. I've hunted and fished all my life,
Hmm.
but I have a very modest collection. But I went through my safe, and I've got about $25,000 in rifles and
Hmm.
pistols and shotguns and different firearms. But I'm short a lot on my coverage, even in the insurance business. So
Right.
we're talking about rolling an endorsement to cover those guns in a special way, and it's going to be really exciting. So I hope everybody will really pay close attention when we roll that out, because it's going to be really special.
Yeah. Trust me, I've seen things happen where maybe someone's house is on fire and they're throwing the guns out the
Yeah.
window, you know,
Yeah,
because you don't think
that's
about it
exactly
until then.
right.
Yeah.
Hank, there's a huge need for that. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of times, people just assume that they have coverage,
Hmm.
and that's just not the case. And in being able to package that with our self-defense liability policy, so now we've got liability and property.
Hmm.
We're covering all things firearms from
Hmm.
the individual perspective.
Hmm.
Then we also tailoring this package policy for our, whether you're a small dealer or a small manufacturer, you're big and enormous like PSA.
Hmm.
We're going to be able to be the one-stop shop firearm insurance related in the entire country, and we're excited to be on the ground floor of what we see as something very special.
Okay. There's another question here. Accidental discharge, and then there's an asterisk. I guess this is something coming from the website. If you accidentally fire on someone while hunting, what's the asterisk mean? Is that? I know Lola
So the
said that.
asterisk
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
asterisk on the website is referring to it that it is an optional, it's an additional policy, it's an additional coverage that comes
Okay.
with the policy.
Hmm.
That's not referring to accidentally shooting someone in a hunting accident.
Hmm.
So accidental discharge would be the gun accidentally discharging, um, and then hitting some. Now, if you're out hunting, that's a different endorsement, to the plan that we will add,
Okay.
as we grow. That just wasn't one of the that wasn't one in the cards for us as we launched our
Hmm.
self defense policy.
Okay. So there's different situations that this covers. Then I take it. What are the situations? Does that depend on which plan specifically you have, or how does that work?
No, so the accidental discharge coverage, it mirrors the coverage or the plan that you select.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you select the silver plan and gives you up to $500,000 of coverage for an accidental discharge
Okay.
incident,
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
we've you can make up any story that you'd like,
Hmm.
but if your gun was discharged for whatever reason
Hmm.
and injured somebody, I can almost bet you that you're getting some type of a summons from somebody,
Oh yeah.
asking for damage coverage, and that's another great thing about our policy is if that happens and you have that endorsement, somebody comes after you, we're going to cover you. We're not just going to cover the legal fees if you decide to fight it. We are going to cover that incident, and we couldn't be more, as you can tell in our voice. We're passionate about our product, and we've spent a lot of time on it, and we've studied and surveyed the competition and all of the additional coverages that we offer that are extra charge. Those were specifically chosen by myself, by Frank, by our team, our friends at Prime, to perfectly insulate what we see, an insured might need most in carrying or owning a firearm.
Yeah, I'm going through all of them here, and that's what's over in the corner that screen. So just to give you an example, you're talking about silver. So one of the things I see it's that so it's 250,000 per incident, up to
Hmm.
500,000 in that case. Multi-state psychological support at expert witness coverage, 24/7 claims online, spousal coverage. Okay, so that would be a rider. So I know there was a question there about spousal. So that would be a $60. What is that? A year to
Yep.
add a spouse? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
$60 for a year also gives you a monthly option to add as well.
Okay. Bail bond reimbursement, compensation in court, accidental discharge. Okay, so that's what.
Hey,
So
Hank,
yes. Mm-hmm.
may I add one thing about the accidental discharge?
Yes.
The policy is very clear, and it's any unintentional act. And I'm going to throw a statistic at you, Hank, that might
Mm-hmm.
surprise you. Last year, there were 430 fatalities due to accidental discharge
Mm-hmm.
in America.
Mm-hmm. How
That
many?
may not seem like 430
430. Okay. Mm-hmm.
fatalities due to accidental discharge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we remind our listeners that
That's a lot. That's more than one every day
that's a
somewhere in
lot.
the country.
That's a
A little
lot.
bit more than
And
one.
keep
Yeah.
in mind,
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind that the families of those victims of an accidental discharge are 99.9% of the time going to lawyer up and come after you in a civil matter. Our policy's going to cover that civil matter if you've got that accidental discharge endorsement. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So there's one of the questions I saw earlier where people were asking about, I guess, so let's say you have CCW or concealed weapons permit. Does that help you? Are there things that helps make your policy cheaper or that you guys require? Like, do you have things requiring people prove to you that they have safes or this thing or that thing? We're talking about accidental discharges and things like that. Um, is there any kind of requirements like that?
No, at this time, when we rolled out our policy, we felt we had, again, so much value in comparison to the competition. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, the competition is not necessarily offering discounts for being a CWP. In fact, I'm a CWP
Mm-hmm.
holder. I will tell you that that's something, Hank, that we might look at in the future as we grow. But obviously, right now we've got to get this product out of its infancy stage and get
Right.
it strong. So yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, I think on the other side of that, it's probably a good thing that there's not, like, hey, you have to have this. We have to know you have this or whatever, right? Um,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah, that's a good thing to know. Let me
Another
go
speaking on
ahead.
that,
Hmm.
and thinking about kind of I don't know how I just thought of this. Just also want to make sure that everybody listening out there knows that if you haven't been to our website, I highly recommend do it. Protectwithbear.com. Our IT team, man, they did a fantastic job on outlining and making our points very visible to the audience and the folks that come across it. And then another, not that it's a huge advantage, but it's quick and it's easy, and you can be done and have a policy bound within 90 seconds. You put in your name, your contact information, and your address, payment info, and you're done. And you get your own member portal and you have your own ID card. And your portal has all the numbers you'd need to call, the contact information that you'd need to know. It's got your own FAQ page. We're having our own specific policy holder education page going to be up here shortly with educational videos and safety training videos from our own CWP instructors and our own team at PSA. And there's so many more things that we're excited about this program. Here we're getting ready to roll out that here in the new year, as more promotional items and ideas come across our table, we're going to be allowing folks that are policyholders of right to bear, new policyholders, the opportunity to get discounts at PSA.com, and when you can protect your family, but in the meantime and in that process, you can get discounts to our personal bias, best gun manufacturer and retailer in the country. It's a win-win for everybody, and it's been awesome to be able to see the different ideas and the different marketing that we have come up with to continue to bring value, to educate, teach people why they need it, but then also treat them and say thank you as a give back for their support and in this new movement of making sure that we're making our message loud and clear that we're here to protect the responsible gun owner.
Right, absolutely. And while you're saying that, it's over on the screen there as well. If you sign up now, you can get a limited edition AR-15 lower. I think it says with any silver, gold, or platinum. So I don't think the bronze qualifies. Or $40 off at Palmetto State Armory. That's over there on the side. So one of the things that leads me to think about is, let's say you're someone who's got this policy, you've had it for years and years and years, you've put this money into it for the policy and you haven't used it. Is there some kind of benefit that you get out of that? Obviously you're covered, even though, thankfully for you didn't need to use it. But have you guys thought about, something where if people have done this for a long time, there's extra benefits or something that they get because they've been members for this time?
We've not looked into that, Hank. That's certainly something we could maybe look at down the road. But keep in mind that in the property casualty world of insurance, it's indemnification for a policy year. So for a very minimal cost, for example, the silver cost at getting $500,000 of liability for $235 a year. If you went 30 years paying that premium and all of a sudden you had a $2 million loss, I think you can see that 30 years of premium would have been well worth it.
Yeah. And I understand that. Obviously, you could just sign up right now for that thing, pay 30, 40 bucks or whatever, and then boom, all of a sudden you guys have to pay out that money for that policy, and people have to think about that. It's the same thing I think with life insurance, Lola and I have had life insurance, and we have just like your regular term life insurance, and we've had that for, I don't know, I'm going to say we've been married 22, more than that, I think maybe 24 years or something like that. Thankfully, we haven't had to cash in on any of that stuff, because that means one of us is not here, but that's the way that it goes, right?
Yeah, we're thankful you hadn't had to use it either.
Yeah, absolutely. What I was talking about is like, maybe there's some kind of like credits or something like that you get because you've been signed up for this thing for a long time. And I understand how insurance works a little bit, not as much as you guys do, obviously, but go ahead.
Hank, it's actually a pretty brilliant idea. I do agree with what Frank said. But as we do grow, that may be a great incentive to give to our long-standing right to bear customers. When we're 6, 7, 8 years down the road and we've had our loyal partners, we'll be able to track that, and whether it's a lower premium or a promotional gift, giving back to them and just saying thank you. That all great ideas.
Yeah, I mean, and the flip side of what I was going to say is, like, I've had car insurance, let's say, for since I was 16. If I'm a good driver, it's like good for you, right? That you've been a good driver.
Hank,
you're spending this money because there's other people who cash in on it, or you might have had to cash in on it here or there. Go ahead, sorry.
Our cool leader, Jamin McCallum, is always coming up with some great ideas. And that limited edition right to bear lower right now is beautiful. And who knows if one day, if you've been with Right to Bear for 10 years, we might come up with a 10-year limited edition Right to Bear lower.
Yeah, you get a machine gun. No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not locking these guys into anything right now.
Yeah.
None of
It
the.
might go from a
Yeah.
lower to a machine gun. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lola is saying, why are New York and New Jersey? What is it? New York, New Jersey, and Washington not covered?
How fired up can we get on your show?
As
Can
fired
we
up
can
as
we
you want to get.
completely
Yeah.
can we completely let it rain, or do we have to bite
No,
our
you can
tongue?
go for it. That's the reason why we're not doing this live on YouTube. We do put it up on YouTube later, but no, you don't have to bite your tongue at all. You guys can say whatever you want to
Think,
say.
think about how stupid this is for those states. Okay, they're anti-gun. There's nothing people in those states still have guns, right?
Hmm.
But they're not protecting the individuals of those states.
Hmm.
They're not allowing, those states don't allow this policy to be sold. Whether we do it, the next guy, it does. Those attorney generals and those insurance commissioners of those states said that has to do with the firearm. We're not doing it. So they would rather put their citizens in serious financial ruin for a political stunt, if we'll call it that. And it makes me sick. But hey, listen,
It's not you guys. That's what you're saying, right? It's not your policy. Is that those states will not allow you to
offer this type of
offer it? Yeah.
this type of policy.
Mhm.
That's
So
why.
Hank,
Whether, yeah, go ahead, Frank.
so Hank, I'm going to add to that.
Mhm.
The blood-sucking attorneys generals in those 3 states,
Mhm.
if I can say it nicely,
Mhm.
went after the NRA when they were selling the same product we're selling. And they found a little glitch in the NRA's policy in that they were advertising insurance through outlets that weren't licensed to sell. And I want to make
Okay.
it real clear to everyone listening.
Mhm.
Right to Bear is licensed to do business in every state in the United States, including Puerto Rico. But I will tell you that we field calls, Perry will tell you, we field calls every day from the great people in the great state of New York, great people in the great state of New Jersey, and the great people in the great state of Washington. And there needs to be a firestorm on those attorney general offices right now, because this is a needed product for people who choose to carry and stand their ground in those great states. But those attorney generals are gun haters. That's just fact.
Right.
There's no other way to put it. And they create a legal environment that insurance companies in the self-defense world, after what the NRA went through, just simply choose not to be able to play in that playground right now. Not our choice. We want to go in tomorrow.
Mhm. So let me see if I understand this correctly. You can't if you're a resident of that state, you cannot get the insurance. Now, let's say I'm a resident of Florida and I go to New York and something happens, then what? Am I still also out of luck? Or
You're covered.
I'm covered.
We-
Okay. Even though, yeah,
Yeah, if you,
the
we've
legalities
got
of being
folks
able
who-
to carry in New York or whatever, that's a whole other thing. Mhm.
Oh yeah, we've got folks who live in bordering states of Washington, New York, New Jersey.
Mhm.
That if you live in a bordering state, such Pennsylvania or whatever, and you buy one of our policies and you have an incident in New York, we're going to back you. We're going to cover you. We just can't sell to the residents in that state because of the attorney generals and their decisions, poor decisions, I might add, just like Perry said, but poor decisions to not allow their consumers to be protected by a great coverage like this.
Okay, so if I'm a Florida resident, and let's say, for example, I'm driving through Florida or something like that, driving through New York, which you should be able to legally do, just drive through there. If I get pulled over and arrested or something like that, am I covered? Or I don't know if you. I'm not assuming you guys are lawyers, so I'm not expecting you to know. So
Now,
sometimes.
I will go ahead and answer that. We are not in the business, nor is any self-defense liability product in the business of covering you for an arrest for failing to obey the law in terms of carrying them.
Okay.
We are a self-defense liability policy that covers you in the event you choose to stand your ground
Okay.
in a self-defense incident.
So if there's any other legal issues that come up, this coverage does not cover that. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So for example, if you're transporting, even if you're transporting legally, so for example, you can transport legally. You can, if you're traveling through a state, you know, there's just laws about how you do it, right? Like, so for example, in California, the gun has to be off of you. It has to be, unless you have a CCW in California, but it has to be unloaded and locked up somewhere. So let's say if you were doing all of that and you got pulled over and you still got into something, this coverage is not for that.
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that being clear on that particular thing. Did you guys have something else you wanted to say there? Yeah. And I see that folks were saying that, yeah, there's still guns in those states, but what I expect that the politicians there want is for people to suffer if they have guns. So that's a roundabout way for them to take away your Second Amendment rights by scaring, you know, the living bejeebus out of you. You know, they want people who defend themselves in those states to get in trouble and lose everything, even if they rightly defended themselves.
They would rather people intrude into their citizens' home, destroy property, kill people, do all the crazy psycho crap that happens in those areas. They would rather that happen than a good law-abiding citizen to stand their ground. And if they then, on the flip side, if they do stand their ground, they're on their own.
Yeah.
It's why those states are losing people left and right. They can't stand living in them. My dad was born and raised in New Jersey. Every time we go back, he always reminds us why he left.
We lived in Jersey. My kids were born there too. In Jersey, yeah.
He was at Atlantic City, and I remember when I was a little kid, we were sat at a red light. No one was on the road for like 10 minutes. He said, "No wonder I left this friggin' dump."
Yeah, Atlantic
it just always
City
stuck out.
Yeah,
he didn't enjoy his time there.
Right. Yeah. So let me see. So I know that, you know, we've skipped through some sections here because obviously we have these guys. We're trying to answer questions. I know that, who was it? Armament and Axes was asking for Gorn. Gorn is gun porn. So that's when we show guns and stuff like that. Now, you guys are gun guys. Do you guys have any guns there that you could show us? You know, if you don't, it's cool. I know you guys came on to talk about insurance and stuff like that here, so I don't want to put any undue pressures on you. You know,
no, but I can tell you, I don't know if everybody has been on the Palmetto State website to see the new dagger we've got out, the new pistol that Jamin and his leadership team have created. But that's an exciting pistol.
Yes, I don't have one here, but yes, we here. I'll show something. So I have a Palmetto State lower that I put together here, and if you guys check out, if you go to palmettostate.com and then go to the blog, we have some blog stuff there that's talking about building up lowers, uppers, zeroing, all that kind of stuff. So this is my Palmetto State lower that I've put together here. And I've got that, and let's see what else I've got. I've got some other guns here, you know, if these guys don't have guns. Next time when you guys come on, you know, if you want to, you know, it's no pressure. I don't want to be, you know. Yeah, you guys can bring some guns when you come on. I've got something from Barnauls here, you know, a little, I guess you can call these I guess you can call it Derringers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Barnauls. Here, I'll go in a close-up here. These are like pocket pistols or whatever you want to call it there. This is, I believe that this is 45 Colt, and 410 can go in here. So, you know, pop it open, load it up. You know, you got to like pull the hammer all the way back in order to make it go. So nothing's going to happen with that trigger until the hammer's pulled all the way back. Barnauls makes some, I don't know, man. Their stuff is really, really tough. I'm a fan of what Barnauls makes. I even have a bullpup pistol from Barnauls, which I don't have with me right now, but I'm a fan of the stuff that they make. And there's a whole bunch of things you could do. You could change the grips. You could change your barrel that you're using on here. Very easy to take the barrel off. There's like a, you know, there's a pin right there in this part of it. Let me see if I can go close up on that. That you can actually remove that barrel and swap it out. You can swap out your grips here, get wood, rubber, whatever is comfortable for you. So I'm a fan of Barnauls. And for the guys who like to have something in their pocket, a little pocket pistol, it's a good way to go. 410 is pretty good. Have a lot of options when it comes to 410. So there's my Gorn.
Yeah, I just bought a.
Go ahead.
I just bought a pocket pistol, Hank. I got a 380 Smith
Okay.
& Wesson Bodyguard.
Oh, the Bodyguard. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
with got a little crimson eye on it.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that.
So how are you carrying that? Is that just like, is it in the pocket? Do you have it in a little pocket holster? What are you doing with that?
Yeah, I tend to carry it just in my jacket if I'm wearing a coat. I mean, it's perfectly concealed. And as I told you earlier, I'm a CWP holder. And I'm looking around now. I'd like to get a calf holster.
Calf? Okay.
That way I can wear it to church, for example. And maybe have it there for to carry full time when I'm out and about, dinner engagements and that kind of thing. So
okay, yeah. So for the folks out there, if anyone's got a good idea on calf holster, what kind of holsters do you prefer? Are you like leather, Kydex, a mix? Do you have a preference?
I'm not really the leather guy.
No. Okay. Okay, so you're Kydex. You like Kydex stuff, then?
Yeah,
I take it.
no
Okay.
doubt.
All right. And then what about you, Perry? By the way, so Frank, what state are you in? I see that there's I think Lola's asking that question. What state are you guys in?
Yeah, we're in Columbia, South Carolina, in the capital.
Oh, okay. Is that both of you guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're in the great state. Being from, Jacksonville, and the majority of my family is still down in Florida. So every day I feel like they keep trying to get me back. So, Hank, you are right outside of Gainesville?
Yep.
What town exactly?
Let me see. We are in a town called Chanton. That's the name of it. That's the name of the town that we're in.
Country.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
that's the way. Yeah, if you understand that, then more power to you. Like in New Jersey, there's a Trenton, New Jersey. There's Trenton all over the place. But you have to, in this place, since it's country, they go Chanton like that. I get in trouble if I don't say that. So that's what that town that we're in is called. It's about just right outside Gainesville, actually. So.
So Hank, I don't want to be rude,
right?
And completely interrupt the flow of the podcast, but
sure.
How long? I'd love to know how long you've been in doing what you guys are doing now, and a little bit more on you.
Yeah. So so you're talking about the gun stuff?
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, we are. So next year is going to be the 10th year probably that since we've been doing this. So we're at least 9 years into doing gun stuff on YouTube. My main YouTube channel, I think it's about 118,000 subscribers on YouTube. Back in the days when I started doing this, it was a lot easier. Now they pretty much have me shadow banned over on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and a lot of different places like that. And for me, I was never in the military or law enforcement or anything. I'm really just a creative kind of person. But I've always been interested in guns. When my family came to America, I was born outside of America. And when my family came here, we grew up in New York City. So that's not a place where you can legally have guns, but anyone who has lived in New York City knows you can pretty much have anything you want in New York City. So eventually, when I met Lola in New York City, we got married, we moved to New Jersey. As I said before, that's where my kids were born. And you can have guns in New Jersey. It's just kind of difficult. There's a lot of hoops and things like that you have to jump through. It's easier than New York, I would say, but not as easy. and I've always traveled to Florida, and I just decided after visiting Florida for, I don't know, like I visited Florida all the time, and I realized that Florida was a lot easier. They call Florida the gunshine state. So Lola and I convinced her to move to Florida just so I can get into guns. And so we moved for that purpose. And when I started actually getting into it and doing stuff, I decided to share my learning, growing process with everyone on YouTube. So that's how I wound up doing this. And I just started off showing the cool guns that I liked, and that grew into as I learned about the Second Amendment, why it's important to fight for it, why it's important to vote, and you have to think about who you're voting for and all those kinds of things. What I was doing, I still just do fun gun stuff, but I think what I was doing evolved more into advocating for the Second Amendment and doing this kind of stuff. We've actually been doing the podcast where we talk to lots of different people from across the firearms industry and even outside of the industry. We've been doing this, I think, for 3 going on 4 years. So this is episode 846, just to give you guys an idea. I know everyone and their mama has a podcast these days.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not 800 episodes, though, I can assure you.
Yeah, a friend of mine who's always on the podcast actually sent a funny thing from the Babylon Bee, which let me see if I can share that with you guys. This is actually a post from the Babylon Bee on Instagram. Let me see if I can add this here. So here it goes. It goes, "Meet Steve, the last remaining American who doesn't have a podcast." So there's lots of people out there with podcasts these days. But I wasn't the first one to do it. The first podcast that I went on for gun stuff was the We Like Shooting guys, and and there's a bunch of other people that were doing podcasts way before me. But I think this is like a cool way for us to actually interface with the folks out there, the folks on the industry side, as well as the people who are just gun owners or who are out there concerned, interested about the Second Amendment. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, I just was curious. That's really cool, man. I know Josiah gave me a brief background, but just thought I'd hear it right from you.
Yeah. The tough thing about doing this, and I've had these conversations with Josiah a lot and a lot of people in the industry, and you guys will probably hear this a lot. The hard part of doing this is that we're doing something that's legal. And in a lot of senses, there's all these safety nets in the way of what we do, right? If I buy a firearm, I have to go through an FFL, go through a background check, typically. There's all these different hoops that we have to jump through. We're protected by the Second Amendment, but everything out there seems to be against us. We seem to be on an island and everyone's against us. The social media platforms are against us. Companies, banking, etc., they're against us. I'll give you guys an example. I think at this point now, it's been maybe 3 or 4 years. PayPal banned me for life because I'm a gun guy.
Yeah, we're experiencing that in every sector of our leadership team right now at Palmetto State Armory, JJ Capital, and I tell you, Hank, there's some exciting things in store that you and your listeners are going to find out all about in 2022. But
yeah,
we've got solutions in our vision plan at Palmetto State Armory to combat all this wokeism. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we can't talk about everything. There are invitations out there for not just the folks at PSA, but I know that Jamin is very interested in what you're talking about there. And I've had conversations with him off the record where he's expressed his extreme interest in doing something about this. But there's other people in the firearms industry that are working on things and doing things. And that's what makes me excited for the future of what we're doing, right? Once we start, like there's a bunch of money that we have, it almost reminds me of, if you go back in time in America when different cultures and races of people came to America, right? If you go back to when Italians came to America, or a lot of Irish people, or even after slavery here in America for black people, they got together in communities and pooled all their money initially, and this is how they were able to survive and strive. You know, and it seems like for us in the gun community, we need to start doing that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be that way, right? Maybe it should be it should be a completely different way, but this is the way that the activist corporations out there want it to be, and it's kind of pushing us back into into those corners where we have to do something about this. Go ahead.
But Hank, it's not really the way real red, white, and blue Americans believe. You've got a small majority with the loudest megaphone right now, and they're getting their way, but all that's going to change. If you go to our website right now, protectwithbear.com, you'll see our motto. Our motto is speak freely, live fully, defend liberty. And that's our message, man. We want you to be able to stand your ground. We want to be Second Amendment supporters and believers. And I'll tell you, we've got a place, and that place is going to be heard loud and clear in the next elections. It's going to be powerful. I believe it. There's a movement out there, and it's going to be more powerful than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Perry, did you want to say something? I'm trying to. Where is that motto on the website, by the way?
It should be on the home. Is it on the homepage or the about?
Okay, let me see. I'm just looking.
Yeah.
I'm just looking on the about.
Speak freely, live fully, defend liberty.
Yeah, right in front of you. As soon as you click about, speak freely, live fully, defend
Oh yeah,
liberty.
there you go. Okay, I found it. Right, bam. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's exciting. We in a lot of the research that we did on the front end, just to really get a grip on the current state of America, because we didn't know how we wanted to roll this product out. We learned that it was pretty interesting. There was a survey done that was brought back to us. It was roughly 100 questions, and they asked, the folks pretty, even. They asked, first question was like, do you identify as a conservative or a Democrat? And I think it was maybe 52 conservative, 48 Democrat. But when you went through after that, you went through the questions of these 5,000 people. Frank, you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
They asked questions like, do you support the Second Amendment? And it was right to the point questions, multiple choice answers. The entire survey was overwhelmingly conservative, right? But a lot of the folks, for the majority, or I shouldn't say majority, 48% of them identified as Democrat, but the majority of the folks still had conservative values, right? When people were asked in this survey, do you believe or do you think that women should be able to have abortions 8 months into pregnancy? It was like 5% said yes, where 95% were like no.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you're a human being, you could understand what kind of craziness that sounds like.
Well, there's a lot of wackos out there, man, as you well know.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that they tried to spin it to make us as the wackos, but we still have that American, that heart of, we believe that this country still is the greatest country in the world. We still, for the most part, are logical and have real rational feelings that don't just say crap just to push a political agenda.
Right.
But like Frank said, you look at platforms like Twitter, which the concentration of Democrats and far left folks on Twitter is like 10 times the Democratic concentration of the state of New York or New York City, I think the example was. So Twitter is, you look at that vehicle, that is just flooded with far left wackos that are just trying to bark and push agendas on, like Frank said, their giant microphone.
It was
Megaphone.
interesting. It's interesting that you say that, but at the same time, Trump, I think, was gonna hit 100 million followers on Twitter. Now, I'm not saying that
Hmm.
a lot of those followers were not people from the left or the other side of whatever, spectrum we're all on. But it's interesting, right? Like, he had a massive following on there before he got before he got deplatformed, you know. Um,
Hmm.
and then one of the
It
other
didn't
things,
matter. People wanted to hear what he said,
yeah.
regardless of the side they stood on. They wanted to agree or they wanted to disagree. There was not a ton of middle ground there.
Well, I don't think people believe the established things out there. I don't think people believe in CNN, or any of the news media. I don't believe in any news media. I don't believe in CNN, ABC, MSNBC. I mean, I hardly, I don't have that much faith for Fox News. If I had to choose one, I would probably go, okay, I'll listen. I'll listen to Fox News, but I don't really have a lot of faith in that. I prefer to hear from the people that I'm interested in, even if I don't agree with them. I would prefer to hear from those people directly instead of letting other folks out there push a narrative to me. It's one of the things that you're saying about this gun stuff or even abortion. I think most folks like us out there, we're into these things other than like, hey, these are cool guns. I like the way they look or the way they function or whatever. We want to be able to defend life. We're trying to preserve life versus other folks out there who want to do the opposite of that, right? And they want the ability, they're okay with the ability to legally kill the people who are actually genetically related to them, and we want to be able to protect those people and ourselves and other people around us, and then we're the ones who are vilified for that. And then meanwhile in the world, what you're seeing, even in China with a massive population, they're not making people anymore. And it almost seems like this is what folks around the world want. And then there's folks like us who realize, like, hey, we need to keep having children and raise our children with good values, you know and
That's
it's
right.
important to do that in order to, that's like, to me personally, that's an important part of everyone's life, to be able to have children and raise them in the right way so that when we leave the world, they can continue to be good shepherds of the world. But we're the ones that get vilified, like we don't care about the planet. you know it's
It's
just, it's a
it's
weird,
ass
thing
backwards.
happening.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ass backwards, man. And it
Yeah.
just it again, all of the things that we've just spent the last 5-10 minutes talking about
Hmm.
is what has fueled um, Jamin's entrepreneurship spirit of delivering different types of entities. And let's use right to bear, and let's use this commercial package policy that
Hmm.
that we at Mulcher are putting together. Is that we are now going to provide an outlet for our friends that only had one outlet and it sucks, like we heard
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. I mean,
We we are we are
that's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just
No, I was
we're
gonna.
here to
Mhm.
provide that outlet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the reason why I'm doing this and having this conversation. So some people will be boring, right? They would say, "Oh, this is boring." Like, I don't know. I don't find it boring. I think we need more options. I know there are options already in this particular space that we're talking about here, but the idea of looking into these things and taking ownership over it and us developing it is really, really exciting to me. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys. Like, I want to know, who are these guys that are behind this? What are their philosophies? I'm assuming if Jamin, if Palmetto State, Armory, JJE, whatever, that's the big umbrella that everyone's under there. If they're interested in this, obviously, this, you guys have to be folks who care about the Second Amendment and care about gun rights in America. But it's exciting to see that people are starting to do those things, and for us to be able to play a part in that. And even the way I look at it, competition in the space is a good thing, and people getting into all the different spaces that we need for this, to me, is a good thing. Right? People who want to build platforms for us to be on, people who want to figure out where do we get our insurance from, what's the other kinds of businesses that we could do so we keep this money amongst us, and then we're able to actually use this money and fight for freedom instead of having it used against us. If my cell phone is if my phone is an iPhone, it's an Apple phone. Apple's working against me every single day. I look forward to the day when I could get a phone, and getting that phone and having that service supports people who think like me.
Yeah. And Hank, you're not alone.
Go ahead.
Well,
I
Hank,
think Frank wants to jump in here.
Yeah, I chose not to get an Apple phone because Adam and Eve had an Apple.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that didn't work out so well. But I'll tell you, that Jamin McCallum believes that everybody has a voice, and we need to find a way to find common ground with tolerance. The problem right now, in my opinion, and I don't think I'm alone in this thought, is that I don't mind you having, a belief and being passionate about that belief. Just don't tell me how to believe. Just let's be tolerant. Let's love one another. Let's not see color. We're Americans. We're red, white, and blue, God-fearing Americans. Let's believe in each other. If you have a different view, let's respect it and move on. But this intolerance is just over the top.
Yeah. What makes America beautiful is the differences in America, the differences in the people and what they believe. You're right. The hard part of it is where, there's folks out there who believe that people who don't agree with them, they are going to crush those people. They're going to take away their voice, crush them, and just push them out of existence. I mean, it sounds pretty bad. I don't know if they realize really what they're doing. I think there are folks out there who do get it. I think the majority of people, though, that are following a lot of these folks and voting for them and supporting them don't really realize what they're up to, and they don't see how it's destructive. And because on that side, they pretend that they're all about tolerance, inclusion, right?
Oh, yeah. And, Hank, I tell my girls, I've got two daughters. They're the apples of my eye. One's 23, lives up in Michigan, and my youngest is here in Columbia. And I tell them every day, be a leader, not a follower. To lead means to set an example. And you've got to be out there really striving to do your best and to be your best at everything you do. Too many of these folks, the Antifas, the BLMs, they're followers of some mission that they don't even understand. And if they did understand it, they'd come back to their senses, because you know what? When it's all said and done about the Second Amendment, a gun has never shot one single person in history. It's always been a human that has, pulled the trigger.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. Lead instead of following all the time. Sometimes we have to, you have to follow, but be careful, of who you follow.
Yeah. No
You need to inspect, analyze, question. Don't be dogmatic to following anything. That's important. And I've got two sons. I always tell my boys, be producers, not consumers.
I like that.
That's a really important thing. Huh?
That'll preach.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys this. I'm not sure. I know we started a little bit late here, but I think we still probably have around something around 20 minutes or something like that here. What can we all do to help you guys out? The folks out there that are listening to this, that are looking at this, what can we do to help you guys? Obviously, we could sign up. And you can say that if you want, but outside of that, what are the things that you guys are? What are the things you guys are looking to find out? The things you guys are looking to grow, the help, the support that you guys need.
Well, certainly we need prayer. We appreciate anybody that's willing to say a prayer for us as we grow in this mission of Right to Bear. Again, we want to be that self-defense liability choice in the event you choose to stand your ground. Obviously, we need partners, Hank. We need great people like Hank Strange that's willing to get out here and share our message, our philosophy of speak freely, live fully, defend liberty. But we need great partners. The CWP instructors around the country, we'd love to partner with you. We'd love to send you a poster. We'd love to get you in our affiliate network. And Perry, I'd like for you to maybe, if you would, take a few moments and talk about our affiliate network and see how we might become partners with you in this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good thing to talk about. So affiliate, what I'm talking about here for anyone who's listening is for the folks who help you guys to find new members. They can help you to do that, and at the same time make a little bit of money for themselves. I don't know if you could explain it a
Yeah,
little bit better than
absolutely.
that.
So what we've done is we've partnered with AvantLink to integrate with our website that we can reach out to businesses, other social media influencers, whether it's their own personal website or it's a Facebook page, an Instagram, a Twitter, whatever, to promote Right to Bear. And there's a great referral fee that comes with that. And what when you asked that question, Hank, what kind of stirred in my mind was any feedback after research of looking at our website.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've loved these questions, but you know, after looking at it, why wouldn't you, if you're a firearm owner, why wouldn't you purchase this policy? People don't understand that home insurance doesn't cover acts of self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have coverage for this and you choose to stand your ground and you have to go out and get legal defense, you don't want to be left having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your pocket because you had to defend some wacko coming into your house or coming into, we heard situations of coming into a Waffle House and holding people hostage and holding them,
Yeah, or attacking
just,
you while you're in your car. Your auto insurance doesn't cover it either.
no, it
Yeah.
doesn't. And so you
Yeah.
got to have this type of coverage if you have a firearm. And
Mm-hmm.
we need the country, we need everybody to know about how important this type of insurance is, that there is coverage out there for incidents like this. There's 42 million households in America that own firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly 1.8 to 2 million total insured based off of the studies that we've seen. 40 million households are uninsured right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is terrifying. There's room for everybody, and we want Right to Bear to be the first company, first policy program that comes to mind for the responsible gun owners of this country.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I tried, so for me, in doing YouTube and these things that I do, I'm not trying to make anyone buy anything, right? I think ultimately I try to give people the best information I can. They can make up their choices, their choices on what they want to do. I know for Lola and myself, years ago, we decided to get USCCA. We have US Law Shield right now. That's what we use. I think it's important to spend this kind of money. I think, what is the top policy that you guys have? Let me look at it again here. I think what was it, like $300 a year or something like that? No,
so
like 600, the platinum, right?
$595.
Yeah, I mean that's
yep.
pretty much what you would spend to buy an AR, an entry level AR in the year. To me, my personal opinion about that, regardless of what it is folks want to buy out there, is that you're doing this thing, you're going to buy a couple of guns, you're going to do all this kind of stuff, you're going to carry a gun on you. I hope nothing happens. I don't do it because I want something to happen. I do it when something happens. I need to be prepared to defend myself. But when that happens, there's going to be costs that go behind that. And I don't want to endanger my family's welfare when that happens, right? So I don't want all the money that we're making has to go into paying for my legal defenses and all those kinds of things. Everything has to get sold in order to defend me. I think, nowadays we live in a world where a lot of people think that, someone's gonna put some money for me create a GoFundMe or whatever. There are cases where that happens, like we were talking about Rittenhouse. For most of us, that's not going to happen. Okay.
Mm-mm. No, I will add that, talking about what you were just saying, that just again, be cautious with the legal defense only,
Mm-hmm.
with some of that wording
Mm-hmm.
and what some of those carriers offer. You get people get hung up on, oh, they got term limit or policy limits where my current policy says unlimited. Well, we're also true insurance, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll cover legal bills and civil damages, which are significantly more expensive than legal fees only.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't sell on price, even though this is not a very expensive product, but we have the best value when you have an incident, and you have to defend yourself, and for whatever reason there was some type of a civil unfortunate event and you were deemed negligent. We're going to cover that. Whereas a lot of the folks that say unlimited, when you see unlimited, basically you can go ahead and throw out any civil damage coverage out the window because you're going to be on your own there. And that just, again, it's just why we're so passionate about Right to Bear, and we're so excited to be offering the product that we are.
Yeah. I don't know if Frank has anything to add to that here, or if there are any other questions. I'm gonna actually go into some of the social media. I think that's one of the ways that folks can help you guys and maybe find out more things going forward as this all grows. Right? How long has this been in effect again? A couple of months?
No, our 3 week anniversary will
Oh,
be
3 weeks.
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. You guys are and how many people is it actually working over at Right to Bear Insurance right now? Like what's the staffing look like?
So when you combine our insurance carrier and you
Uh-huh.
combine our advisor team, you could probably say there's probably in excess of 10 people total. But
10.
in
Okay.
terms of the leadership team right now at Right to Bear in Columbia, South Carolina, we've got about 3 people on our group.
Okay, interesting. So what that brings up is, are you guys hiring? Are you guys going through a hiring process right
We
now? I'm
will
sure
be,
that some
we
people.
will,
Huh?
yeah, we will be very soon. As we continue to grow, and every time we have a sales dashboard, and it just seems to continue to tick up every second of the day, which has just been a blessing,
Mm-hmm.
that people have seen the value in Right to Bear. But as we grow, we'll continue to bring folks on our team to help
Mm-hmm.
spread the word Right to Bear, to help our customers if they have questions or any inquiries or billing. And we pride ourselves in customer service. And I know we have handled hundreds and hundreds of calls and emails in the last 3 weeks, and we respond literally within the hour to every single call if missed or email sent in.
Okay.
And we take pride in that. Was the message that we received from
Mm-hmm.
Jamin, that we want to be, not only do we want to offer the best product, which we do, but we also want to have and offer the best service that comes with that product. So there's a lot more um, that goes into that price that you see listed on the website than
Mm-hmm.
just a quote unquote insurance policy.
Okay. So, with that hiring, is that all going to be in South Carolina? Is that going to be outside of there? I'm not trying to pin you guys down to the specifics, but that's, there might be some folks out there who, we're talking to people in the gun industry. There might be some people out there looking to move around or start a
Yeah.
career in this thing. So,
Frank and I have discussed numerous times, in your great state down in Florida. I think Florida. Am I wrong in saying this, Frank? Florida is one of, if not the, has the highest CWP holders in the country.
Yes, it was one of the top three, actually.
Yeah,
awesome.
one of the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida's a state, obviously, I'm ultra familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Have a ton of relationships there, that we'd love to have a heavy presence in Florida, and in Texas. And to be honest, in the Southeast, we joke
Mm-hmm.
about, Hank, I know you're not a football guy, but down here in the Southeast, we care a lot about the SEC
Mm-hmm.
football. And so that's a territory that we
That's
want to own.
Securities and Exchange Commission. No.
Yeah, nicely put. Nicely put.
No, it's not. I know
We
it's not.
we
Right.
want
Mm-hmm.
we want to own that territory. We have
Mm-hmm.
other players. There's one in Wisconsin and one in Texas, but we want to own this part of the country, and have a real grassroots effort throughout this region over the next couple of years, and then continuing on. But we're more than happy to take any inquiries about potential opportunities with right to bear and Moultrie, and we especially will take them in if you have any insurance experience to help us not only with right to bear but with this commercial package policy that we're going to be offering through Moultrie Insurance.
Okay, very
And
good.
Hank,
Go ahead, Frank.
yeah, Hank, if I can add to that,
Mm-hmm.
we've had licensed insurance agents from around the country reach out to us wanting to
Mm-hmm.
know if they could represent right to bear, and the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, through our Avant Link process, our affiliate network, we're currently trying to work out a producer link for those licensed, and I have to say this, licensed insurance agents
Mm-hmm.
that can actually educate our partners and deliver a product through a sales process with an insurance license. So we would always be open to talking to those folks around the country. And I know you've got a lot of listeners out there that know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And look, we're always glad to take a resume for an aspiring Second Amendment believer who might want to be in the gun business. So
Yeah.
always welcome to send it to frank.cannon@moultrieinsurance.com.
Okay, there you go. Armament and Axis says, is Frank a drummer? He bounces like I do. Laugh out loud. I don't know.
Listen, I came out of the womb with this leg bouncing, bro.
Okay. It's like a tail, like a tail.
It's like the move. It's like the mover and the shaker.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. Listen, I'm gonna check out some while we're here on air. Do you guys want to check out some of the social media that you guys have? I see it. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the page. I see you have some social media things here. Are all these things here on social media at the bottom of the page active? I'll go. I'll go on.
Yep,
Let's see.
they
I'll go
all
on the.
are.
Let me see if I can actually click through any of them. No. Oh, here we go.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see. One is
you
opening up
can.
here. Facebook.
Yep.
Okay. What's the Facebook? It's trying to get
The
me to.
Facebook is just right. It's just right to bear insurance.
Okay.
If you search it,
I think I have to open up my
it'll
Facebook app in order to do it. That's the reason why I didn't. So right to bear. Yeah.
Same thing on Instagram. If you click any of the links down below, on the bottom of the web page, it'll take you right to
So here we go.
each channel.
Yeah. So here's the
only
right to bear
thing
insurance one right there, right?
Yep.
Bam.
Yep.
So
The
there you
only
go.
one that
And I'll
we're
follow you
hurting
guys.
content is YouTube.
Okay. All right. So
But
there you go.
have we've got roughly, geez, Frank, how many? 5, 6, maybe 7 different videos that we're getting ready to put onto our YouTube channel to start really educating all of our insureds
Okay.
and all of the other inquiries.
And here's the one on Instagram. So everything is right to bear insurance, right? On all the across the board on all the social medias. So here's the one on Instagram that I'm sharing with you guys. I'll invite the folks out there who have Instagram to go check that out. Let me see. I'm gonna see what else we got here. It looks like you have a Twitter. Boom. I'm gonna go to the Twitter also. Share that with you guys. Oh, it looks like I'm already following that one. That's cool. All right.
Thank you.
And then what's the other one? YouTube. Right. It looks like you have a TikTok also.
We do have a TikTok.
Here's the YouTube one. I'll share that for everyone out there. And I will subscribe to that on YouTube. Let's see the TikTok. Hold on. Let me go back and check out the TikTok one. Are you guys actually putting stuff up on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the "Twas the Night Before Christmas" ad coming out on TikTok. I think tomorrow. Is that right, Perry?
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I'm.
coming soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm signed in here to TikTok or not. But yeah, there's a TikTok for folks out there who who are looking at this. So you guys have like people who post here on the social media, or that's you guys doing it?
No, we got people doing that.
Okay.
We have a group actually out of your great state who we are dear friends with, who's done some work with us and some partners in the past. And they're doing a great job for us on our social marketing program that we're getting ready to really roll out here this week and really start pushing Right to Bear out to the masses.
Okay. So what? Go ahead.
We just need Lola. We need Lola to go in and like all of that, so that credibility factor is
Okay.
raised.
Yeah, Lola. These guys want you to go and follow all of these, all of the different platforms out there. I would suggest everyone go out there and follow these guys on social media. What kind of message are you guys planning on putting out on the social media front? Are you just right now promoting the product itself, or are you talking politics on there? Are you putting features of the product? What's the plan with that?
So our plan right now is just to stick with the simple message that we're the best value in the self-defense liability space right now, and we're going to maintain that focus for the interim. Grow our platform, grow our partnerships around the country, all the while creating educational videos. And we're going to have some segments, Hank, that we're going to deliver to the general public once a month called the Bear Facts.
Okay.
You never know when we might get Hank and Lola Strange on a Bear Facts moment.
All right. Yeah. Is there an actual mascot? Does that bear in your logo? Does that bear have a name?
That's a mama bear. You don't want to
right
mess
there.
with.
Right there is the bear looking very serious. Is that a grizzly? I'm assuming that's a grizzly.
Whatever
bear.
you want to call it. It is a I don't even know what it is, to be honest. We can call it a grizzly, but like Frank said, it's a mama bear. We missed the mama bear movement in Virginia by like 2 weeks. That would have been a really good one to latch onto.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And I notice also here it says like while supplies last on this AR-15. How do you guys know what's the number of them that are going to be made? Do you guys know?
Yeah, so right now we're promoting that through the new year, through Christmas. So it's now's the time to buy a Right to Bear policy.
Yeah. And the serial number has RTB on it. It starts with RTB 0001, I see. So, yeah. And I'm giving people a close-up look at what's going on here. Let me see if I can go sideways.
And then the beautiful thing about working and partnering with PSA is, and PSA just made them so ultra successful, is having different partners and different companies that they own that help build their company, that we can almost, we have our folks in Somerville kind of on call and letting them know when our lowers are needed. So we kind of have an ongoing kind of count total that we're just rolling as they come through, and anybody that wants to go ahead and get one, we need to go ahead and get it now while we're still offering it.
Yeah, I collect lowers, man. If I get a chance, I buy lowers, and I just buy them and stack them. So this is a good way to go. Armament and Axis says it's not a panda. It ain't a panda. So there you go.
No panda.
It's not a panda. Well, it could be. So are you guys going to have only one kind of bear in there, or can it be different bears? Can it be anything in the bear family?
Yeah. So you never know what kind of vision Jamin might have for that bear.
Yeah, I mean, a panda could defend itself too. If it had an AR-15. I don't know. I don't think they have opposable thumbs, but
No, they don't. That would be pretty interesting if a panda could pull that off. I don't know. That's a great question. We'll have to have a meeting of the minds tomorrow to kind of figure out what kind of bear this is.
I'm just thinking ahead, like when you guys go to SHOT Show. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be at SHOT Show. Next year, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to be there next year. However, I'm going to be pulling for you guys. I might have some agents at SHOT Show that might go live and do some stuff. We don't know. I might send someone over to the PSA booth to look for you guys over there. But one of the things at SHOT Show is always patches, man. Everyone's looking for the merch, right? Everyone's
We got
collecting
them.
the merch. Okay, so you've got some patches and things like that coming out. Can we see something here? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Frank, you got some patches? Our stickers are phenomenal.
Okay,
He's
let's
got a
see. Oh, we're
patch.
gonna go full screen here. Ooh, right to bear. There you go. For the responsible gun owner. That's nice. Boom. There you go. Okay, mine's gonna have to come in the mail.
We'll get you one.
I'll put in a request for some of those in the mail. So you got the patches and you got stickers.
Yeah,
That's what you guys have going.
pretty
Okay.
excited.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Congratulations. This is gonna be a fun thing. I know it's a lot of work. Obviously, you guys are building something pretty much, well, maybe not from the ground from having this conversation with you. You've got a good backbone behind it, but you have to build up, a whole customer base and all that kind of stuff, which is a lot of hard work. But it's a fun thing at the same time. I think.
Yeah.
It's all you guys are pioneering that, um, and other things, because I know this is just the beginning of what's going to happen or even happen in the insurance space, even though we aren't talking about other things out there. So it's actually pretty exciting. I love that kind of stuff, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited, and we do have a great backbone, but we got a lot of great products that we're rolling out. Self-defense liability, the gun physical damage, the package policy, this fire patch that Frank's holding. We're rocking and rolling. Heck, we may turn into a patch company by the year's end.
Yeah, make all kinds of different patches. You can go crazy, and you can spend a lot of money.
Yeah,
You can
they
spend a
are
lot of
expensive.
money. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money deciding the patches and all that. All right, so the way I'm going to see, I don't know if anyone has any other questions out there for these guys. If they had a good time, I would definitely invite them to come back on. I think they've been really cool guests, so I would like to get them to come back on.
Awesome.
Over time here, you guys are always invited to come back if there's things you want to talk about, or if you just want to come through, or one of you guys want to come through, hang out with us. I know Lola and myself are probably going to be very interested in signing up for the affiliate program. Doing what we do, we've got to figure out ways to bring in the money to pay for the stuff around here. So that's
No doubt.
definitely something that we're interested in. So if the folks out there don't have anything, I would like to ask you guys. There's a couple of things I'm going to do before we end, right? So I'm going to get you guys to tell the folks out there how to get in touch with you if they have other questions and things like that they have for each one of you. And then I'm going to run in the end and come back, and one of you guys is going to give us some words of wisdom. So maybe let's start with Perry. If folks out there, Perry, want to just tell everyone what you do again, at
Yeah.
Right to Bear Insurance, and how do they get in
Yeah.
touch?
So yeah, for sure. So at Moultrie Insurance and Right to Bear, I'm heading up all sales with our affiliate program, with our gun dealer program, as far as getting our gun dealers promoting Right to Bear as well, and in maintaining and helping in any marketing efforts and marketing liaisons between our group and Tampa. And to get in contact with us, the easiest way is, since I'm kind of also heading up for right now customer service between our partners at Prime Insurance, at info at righttobearinsurance.com or info at Protect with Bear. It all goes to the same inbox, and me and my team will handle all of that. And that email and the number on the website are the easiest ways to get in touch with us. And we are super quick to respond. That's something that I take pride in. My team takes pride in it. And every day we want to make sure that, if we can't have an answer for you immediately, we will at least respond to you and let you know that we are working to answer any questions that you do have. So all of our information is on our website at protectwithbear.com, our contact page. And at the very bottom of the web page, it has our phone and our email.
All right, very good. And then I'm going to go to Frank. Same question for you if folks would like to get in touch with you.
Well, Hank, I'll tell you that if they want to get in touch with us, obviously our emails are posted. Our um, Protect with Bear email is out there on our website, and you can reach out to us anytime. And one thing I'll tell you, there's not going to be some customer service department that's going to respond to you. It's going to be the two guys you're sitting here looking at and talking to today. And it's going to be quick. Typically, our responses are within 5 minutes. And, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get feedback from you. We'd love to hear your thoughts about our product and how we might better support our partnerships out there. So I'll leave you with this thought. We're forever grateful to Hank and Lola Strange for this opportunity, and don't want to ever forget our motto at Right to Bear: speak freely, live fully, and defend liberty. Thank you, friend.
You're absolutely welcome. Are you still going to give us some words of wisdom before we go out, or was that the words of wisdom?
That was the words of wisdom.
Okay, that was the words of wisdom from you. Okay, so we're getting it early here, before we go out, before we get out of here. You know what? I'll give you a chance to get that in as the last words here as well. I would definitely like to thank everyone who was hanging out with us tonight here live on Utreon. It's to me, I really appreciate the fact that there are folks that are willing to come over from YouTube. I know it's difficult. Everyone lives on YouTube. It's difficult to come over here to Utreon to see what we're doing, but I appreciate you guys. I would encourage you all to look around and see who else is here on Utreon. I think you've got Military Arms Channel, Iraq Veteran, Mr. Guns and Gear is on here. See an Arsenal is on here as well. Forgotten Weapons. There's a lot of good gun guys. I think John Crump is here as well as Flying Rich. Lots of folks over here. Utreon is like a place that is actually open to talking to us, which is an important thing. I would definitely encourage you all to consider Right to Bear Insurance. I think it's a good thing that these guys are doing, and it's definitely an option, for what we talk about, like keeping the money within the gun community, for services that we all need. So I appreciate that. So for this month, we're not due. I think tomorrow we've got K&M Arms that was in the chat. We've got Ken from K&M Arms. He's going to be on. There's going to be tons of really cool guns. Ken's a big fan of bullpups. So you guys will see a lot of bullpups coming up tomorrow. And I just want to remind everyone that the last day, I think Lola said it's December 27th that we do a podcast. We're giving away a High Point carbine in 45. A suppressor is going along with that from Liberty Suppressors. We've got 2 80% lowers from TUSC. And we've got some swag and stuff like that that we'll be giving away on those days. So please look forward to that. I see Ken right there, K&M Arms commenting right now. So big thanks to him. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run in the end, and then I'm gonna let these guys hit us with the words of wisdom you already heard. But I want it to be officially at the end, Frank. I want it to be at the end because that's how we do everything here traditionally. So I'm gonna run in the end. Big thanks to everyone. Make sure if you guys are seeing that we're scrolling through different people here that sponsor the podcast, check out those companies, man. They support us. If you can support them, we really do appreciate that. Let me run the end in. Let me run it in, and we'll be right back. Stay right there, guys. All right, thanks so much to everyone joining us here live on Utreon, and a big shout out to everyone on the Firearms Radio Network. We're going to rip the audio out of this and throw it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places to listen to your audio podcast from. Big thanks to Perry and Frank from Right to Bear Insurance for taking all this time to hang out with us, answer questions, and all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate you guys. Like I said, you're welcome here anytime. Words of wisdom. Who wants to... Do you want to do it, Perry, since Frank already said it, or however you guys want to...
Yeah, I can do it. I'm going to copy Frank. So our words of wisdom from Right to Bear Insurance goes to all freedom-loving Americans to speak freely, live fully, and defend liberty.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Stay right there. So folks out there, we're ending this right now. Big thanks to everyone. We're out of here. Peace.